What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So if you've been following along with my videos, one of the things I said I was going to do was a shop tour, a walk around the shop and where I work at every day. So today that's what we're going to do. But first, it's pretty dirty. I've got stuff in here that's been sitting here for like 6 months that just hasn't moved. I just keep pushing it to the side where I can work around it. I actually got a free Friday. I finished early this week. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean the whole shop and put it back, everything the way it's supposed to be. And then we're gonna walk around. I'll show you guys everything that's here. So you can see it's kind of cluttered right now, and then every table space that there is looks like this. So probably take me a few hours. I'm gonna jump in and clean everything up, and then I'll show you guys what's going on in here. So let's go ahead and get that started. All right, so that took like forever to do. So we're gonna go ahead and start. I'm just gonna start at one wall of the shop and just work my way around and kind of explain what everything is, why I do it that way. And then at the end of the video, I'll talk about some things that I wish I would have done differently or things that I'm really glad I did do. So make sure you stick around for that. I've got desktop here, pens, calendar that's a few months behind here. And just a lot of paperwork type stuff, notes, and some other stuff. I got a little mini fridge here, battery powered vacuum. There's a spare wheel from my Tacoma. And let's go ahead and take these out. I'll show you guys. So they're really nice hats. They're all Richardson 112s. I got white, camo, all black, black and gray. There's several different colors you can pick from. Like I said, those are on my website. So if you guys want to support me, make sure you go check it out. I also got hoodies, beanies, t-shirts, all that type of stuff. Press from Harbor Freight that leaks oil worse than my Toyota. This here is just a pile of drops, scrap metal, tubes I've screwed up. Just stuff I thought was worth hanging on to because you never know when you're gonna need little small pieces like that. Here we got jack stands. Some wood, I use a lot of pieces of wood like that for just different things. Floor jacks, fire extinguisher, and the heater, one of the heaters. And here is the main welder I use, Miller-Matic 252. And this shelf here is nothing really fab related on it. We're not gonna talk about it. It's mainly like construction stuff, paint, car wash, just a bunch of junk that needed a home. Here is pipe stands, compressor, a little small welding table. I use it a good bit. Shop vac. Here's kind of where I keep a lot of my hand tools in this little corner here. So these are two of the biggest toolboxes Harbor Freight sells. And then I put a little stubby one on the end there. Kind of got a little distracted on the cleaning thing and didn't finish cleaning off the top of this. Some cabinets up top, and that's not finished yet. So I got these from Sam's Club. I ordered them online. I was going to make like a little shelf thing in there and another one right there. That's why there's like some stuff that's not painted. It's not gonna stay that way. Here's a big tool locker thing I got from Home Depot. So this is mostly pretty much all power tools, sanders, saws. It's a lot of like construction type stuff. Frame and nailers, and then I got a lot of M12, more M12 stuff in there. So this was originally going to be my office, and this is an area that gets a lot of welding and grinding done here, so it kind of was dirty. So they're not repurposing the desk to put a belt sander on, and this swag porta-van table. If you haven't seen these, or you have seen them, you've been thinking about it, I do highly recommend it. It's been a really nice tool. It's saved me from trying to hold pieces of metal that are really small and cut them with a regular porta-band. In the corner here, got 2 shelves that are just like slammed full of junk, really. I mean, I use it, but so I got all that type of stuff, spray paint, more paint stuff, chemicals, oil. There's like some window tint stuff and vinyl and other stuff, electrical, hardware, nails and screws, more paint stuff. There's some more paint stuff. This is my tubing roller. It's from Swag Off-Road. It's their own roller. It's called the Hulk tubing roller. It's been nice, it's been good. I actually bought it right when I first went full time. I didn't know if I'd use it, but it's been really handy. And in here is just nothing in that one. No, nothing in that one. And there's a few things to switch the dies out. And this is in there because this thing, I don't know how not to get it to twist tubes when you're rolling. So I'll roll a few and then make sure it's still straight, and I'll twist it back if it's not with that pipe wrench. So here is the main welding table. I built this one a few years ago, and I built it with very specific needs in mind. So everything has a home, plasma cutter, and it was really organized at one time, but I've kind of just started throwing stuff on there. So it's a 3x7 total, 3x5 welding surface, and then over here on the end is a little homemade like plasma station. So it's got like a little chute there into a metal bucket to catch some of the slag. And I didn't like how much it still like just smoke lingered. So I went back, and it's probably gonna be hard to see, but there's actually a like dish pan I got off Amazon, and it fit pretty good. It doesn't cover the edges, but I also don't cut that. You can tell I don't cut a whole lot at the very edge. And this helps like immediately put that stuff out and quit smoking, and the smoke doesn't linger around in the shop. So that's nice. I added an air reel there so that I can hook the plasma cutter up without having to run a hose across the floor. This is where the bender stays when it's not being used, pushed up here. Here's my other welder and a modified Harbor Freight cart that it's sitting on. Hobart 210. This was my second welder I ever bought. My first one was a Lincoln 140, and I bought this one so I could have the ability to go to 220. It's a good welder. Now that I have the Miller, it doesn't get used a lot. I swapped it over to 023 wire and mainly just use it if I'm doing sheet metal or something. So this ladder here, it goes up to this loft. And we'll go ahead and go up there, and I'll kind of show you what's going on up there. So earlier when I said I cleaned the shop, what I really meant was I brought it all up here. So there's not much to look at. Just lots of junk. There's some shelves with junk on it. It wasn't really, there was mostly floor up here until I brought it all up here a minute ago. Over here is a compressor that's currently not being used, but when we built the shop, so I actually ran air lines all throughout the shop, and they drop down on every wall. And the plan was to have a 220 compressor up here. It's like 60 gallon, and have it piped in so I could use drops everywhere. I just don't use a lot of air and haven't put the effort into doing that or buying a big enough compressor. I was going to use this one. That's why it's up here. And like I said, I only use air from my bender, and I plan on converting it to electric at some point. So there's a couple lights up here. That's the switch for it. So there's actually a switch on both sides, about the same area. It's a 3-way in case you come up from the other side. There's a switch over there. If you come up here and go down there, I just kind of one of the things I thought would be handy. This here is a Harbor Freight hoist. It's on like a unistrut rail that I made and hung up there. And so the purpose of that is just so all this crap right here, I got it up in like 3 trips. So I just piled it on this pallet and just winched it up. And you can slide it, over on this rail. And then once you bring it up, you can slide it back. So it's pretty handy. It's definitely better than toting it up ladder. I have toted these car seats and stuff up the ladder, and it's kind of sketchy. So these two toolboxes here are the main things that get used in the shop. These are what I would say are the fab tools, or the fab stuff, and that's what I work out of most every day. So I'm not gonna go through like every single drawer. This one's still a lot of empty drawers. I just bought it off Facebook Marketplace, and I just needed a little bit more space to put smaller parts. But I'll show you a few things. So the bottom drawer is swing out parts. The second drawer is also swing out parts. And I got like impact. Then it starts getting into like pieces like this. So I've ran out of most of my D-ring. I usually don't use a longer one. And then just some like gussets and stuff. Die grinder, Dremel, and all the things that go with them. And more small cutout parts. So a lot of stuff, most all of this stuff, I get two of my buddies to cut for me. It's just nice having that stuff on hand. I was actually gonna buy a plasma table so I could do this stuff myself, and before I started this full-time thing, and I actually had the money saved up for it. And then two of my buddies are at the same time, they're like, hey, we're gonna buy plasma tables. And I was like, well, if y'all are gonna buy one, I don't know how to draw in CAD. I'll just support your business, and I'll use this money elsewhere. So I ended up buying my tube roller, a welder, and a 40-inch metal brake. It's been super nice having these guys to cut me stuff. This is all stuff they've cut for me. So whenever I need something done, I just send them like a really detailed drawing on paper, and they'll get it cut for me. And that's just been really nice. Eventually I would like to learn how to draw in CAD and get my own table, but for right now, this works really good. This toolbox here, a lot of history behind it. This is actually the first toolbox I ever bought when I was getting into working on like cars and stuff. And this is Harbor Freight. And I actually ended up going back and buying a second one and modifying it so that it had bottom drawers in it. If you recognize it, it's actually one of the little service cart type toolbox. So the top just has some cheater tubes, help finding out where I want to make bends and stuff like that. Lights for mocking up bumpers and stuff. So we got some measuring type tools in this one, squares, levels, angle finders, lots of markers, clamps and magnets in this one. This one, we got tips for the welder, plasma cutter, hole saws, some shims I use for different things, and then all this stuff, and there's a laser. All this stuff is like notching, hole saws. I made these little cheater pieces for notching, and I'm gonna make a video about those. So here we have an empty drawer. I just recently organized, so there's some missing stuff. Dimple dies, sawzall blades, and then some fancy cardboard stencils. Some of the M12 stuff that I use basically daily. And there's some grinding discs, cutoff wheels. So over here on the side, you can see I got some more tools. There's like tape measure, scissors, vice grips, just a few of the hand tools that get used pretty often. I just keep them hanging on the side there. So this toolbox here, it's turned around backwards, but it's coming out of here. So the only reason it's still in here is because I got a lot of bolts in it. And well, not in that drawer. But I don't really have a good place to put bolts yet, so I'm waiting until I order a bolt pen, then I'm gonna get this thing out of here. So over here is my home gym that never gets used anymore. And I also couldn't get to it, so now that I just cleaned everything out of the way, maybe I'll actually start using it again. I didn't mess around too much back here because none of this stuff has a home really. I'm gonna sell that big set of torches. I never use it. And the saw's not gonna stay in here either. So I kind of just didn't really clean this area. But right there is my bathroom. It's unfinished, so it's just plywood in there. We're not gonna go in there. This shelf here is all Toyota, pretty much Toyota parts. Lots of leaf springs. If you didn't know, I like leaf springs. Bilstein shocks. There is like enough dual transfer case parts to do 2 trucks right there. Bushings, just all kinds of knuckle rebuild kits, rotors, spacers, drive shafts, gearboxes. There's like interior parts up there, more shocks. It's just pretty much dedicated to just Toyota stuff. Here's some of the aluminum tables that I'll put on swing out bumpers. Just some sheet metal there that I cut out of. This thing here is called a downdraft table. It's actually meant for wood. I don't think the vacuum motor is strong enough to pull like grinding dust. But I bought it anyway. I was just gonna put another fan in it to help pull down. Just so when it's raining, I do a lot of the grinding and stuff outside. If it rains one day, I can come in here and do it. But I haven't even put a filter in it or tried to use it yet, so I don't know if I'll end up keeping it or not. So here's the dartboard, some hand trucks, and there's a little bit of free wall space right there as you come in the door. And here we got trash can. There's where I throw all my little tiny pieces of scrap metal. And this is a Wi-Fi antenna extender thing. So it's pretty sweet if you have a shop and you're trying to get Wi-Fi in it, but you're pretty close to your house. This thing actually has an antenna on the outside of the house that picks up your home Wi-Fi and then brings it into the shop. So the outside of the shop has a metal siding, and you'll never get cell phone service in here. Kind of annoying because I had to open a door or set my phone in the window or something to get cell phone service so I could play music. So I did a lot of research and I found that thing on Amazon, and it's been going strong for a while now, and it's really nice to get good Wi-Fi in the shop. Don't have to run any kind of wires to your house, from your house to the shop. So I'll go ahead and add it in an Amazon store. And I can't remember what it's called, CC something Crane. That's what the Wi-Fi is called. It's like CC Crane. But it's around $300, but it's well worth it if you're trying to get Wi-Fi. So not that there's anything over here, but just in case you want the full 360, there's the doors. So they're 10x10s. So we'll just kind of pan around the shop, let you see everything in a full 360 here. So anyway, that's gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.